Hello, this is Andrew from my channel Specto Watches, and today I just wanted to talk a few minutes about this particular watch. This is my Seiko 6139 6010, sometime referred to as the Bruce Lee. Now this is a brown dial version, and maybe you can see that it's brown. And this is quite a rare version of this watch, being the brown dial. There are many more of them in black and blue, and there's a blue 6012 version there. It's all although this is a 6012, you can see they're effectively the same. These versions of the watches are often referred to as Bruce Lee watches, because it would appear that he wore one of these, a 6010, it's thought anyway. But there is some controversy about whether or not he wore a black one or indeed one of these brown ones. He certainly didn't wear the blue one. So realistically, the blue one isn't a Bruce Lee one. It's either going to be the black or the brown one. And that's essentially why the value of typically these 6010s tends to be higher than you might perhaps imagine. If you look on YouTube, or indeed you look on Google particularly, and search the 6139 6010s and Bruce Lee, you'll find that there's all sorts of discussion about this, and there's some really interesting research that's been done based on the images that are available of Bruce Lee wearing one of these, as to whether or not it was in fact black or whether it in fact was a brown one like this. What does appear to be apparent, and do your own research on this, was that it was one of these, which was a proof dial version from around the same period as this one. And this one is an October 1969. And that is fundamentally, before I knew anything about this Bruce Lee connection, if that is the case, was the fact that I wanted, as part of these, a 1969 version of the 6139. And I was really keen to get one with 1969 on it. So I saw this advertised, usual place, and it was cheap, is the honest answer to that. It was cheap. I mean, I think I paid about £70 for it, including postage. And I guess the reason it was so cheap and nobody was interested in it was because it has the brown dial. But I actually really like it. And inevitably, all these things are in the eye of the beholder, aren't they? Subjective. It doesn't automatically strike you that brown's going to be a tremendously good colour, but it does seem to work. And what's even more interesting, and if you look this up, you'll find out, in the images of the watch that he's wearing, most of the time, perhaps, it appears to be black. But in some of them, it's clearly a different shade to black. Which suggests it might have actually been a brown one. And even in holding this up now, there are occasions where it looks black, and then you hold it differently and it's different. Apparently it's lighter, you know. So really interesting. But this is an interesting watch. I like this. So this is one of my favourites, along with this one, which has just come back. So we're just trying this on to see how it runs for a longer period of time. Although I've been using this weekend the Michel Herbelin Valjoux 7740, because I haven't used that for quite a while, to be honest. So that's getting a little bit of rest time this weekend. 1969, October. So it's what, 53 years old, really? 53 years old. And it runs really nicely. It's a great watch. it runs very accurately, really, to within 5-10 seconds a day. And you can tell it's the right thing. So let's hold it up, see if we can do that. So it's a proof dial, as you can see, and it's a 6139A movement, and you can tell it's an A movement because it's, in this case, it's got the correct second hand, which is a 2-piece second hand. So it's made in 2 pieces and then clamped together. And also on the back, I don't know whether we'll be able to get this close enough, potentially. There we go. So 90 or O in fact for October, and then 6139 6010. I don't know whether this is the original bracelet that came with this watch or not. It certainly seems to have aged in the same way that many of these do. Didn't fit my wrist, so I've had to put an extender on it. But quite rare in brown. And it runs really, really nicely. And if you've got a little collection of these things, then one of these 6010s is quite a nice thing to have. Let's put that back there for a moment. This is obviously the blue version, and it's a fabulous dial on the blue version, really tremendous. You can see the difference on this. The fact it says 6012 instead of 6012 instead of 6010. I don't actually know what that is. That must be a market differentiation, I should think. But this has got a resist dial on it, as opposed to the proof dial, because this is a little bit older than that. In fact, again, we can get a picture of it. It's much more difficult with this. There we go, you see 71 November 6139 6012. So a couple of years older than the brown one, and a little bit later again, of course, they went away from the resist dials altogether to just a plain dial in some cases. But that's a really nice watch as well. Great. I love the dial colour, but realistically, although they call them Bruce Lee's, personally I wouldn't. It's just a blue dial version of it. It's just the same style, so I suppose if that's what you want to do, call it Bruce Lee because it's the same type, if you like, then that's fair enough. I wouldn't, but there you go. This is really it. So thank you for watching. Hope you appreciated it or learned something from it or just found it entertaining. But thanks for your time.